In today's Catholic Woman, we focus on the next generation. After hearing too many friends doubt their inherent value, 26-year-old Julie Larkin had enough, and the nonprofit Girl Talk was born. She and her Girl Talk ambassadors, as she calls them, offer fellowship and help each other through tough life decisions and problems. They carry their message to other young women who may be doubting themselves or are lonely and sad. In her day job, she helps run the Leonine Forum, a program forming future Catholic leaders. Julie Larkin, Executive Director of Girl Talk, thank you so much for opening your home to us.
Thank you so much for having me in my home. This is so wonderful and exciting. Thank you.
Tell me about Girl Talk. Why did you start it, and who does it help?
Great. I started it in college, when I was a junior in college, because I was meeting freshman girls that really needed to be loved.
How so?
They were residents of mine, and I kept hearing these stories from them. Julie, I can barely look at myself in the mirror in the morning. I feel so ugly. Julie, I really like this guy in my English class, but he'd never look at me because, I'm so much less pretty than so-and-so. Different things like that on the surface can seem kind of petty, maybe, but deep down there was a real question of self-worth. And I kept hearing these conversations around the hallways, and then one night I got a really terrifying phone call that one of my residents had tried to kill herself. And this was one of the scariest moments of my life, and I ran to her side, and being there with her, I kept thinking, what caused this beautiful, talented, smart 18-year-old to feel that her life was not worth living? And so when I heard this from my other residents, moments of doubt and self-worth, and they would always end their conversations saying, I'm all alone. No one else understands. I'm the only one. And I kept thinking to myself, but you're not the only one, I've
Listen
had
to all
moments.
these girls who
Yes.
feel the exact same way.
Exactly.
So you started this program, and then you went to a high school in New Hampshire, and now you have these coffee clatches, I guess we could call them, with all the girls coming to your house, and now they are also reaching out. Why is it that women, young women, feel like their lives aren't worthwhile?
That's a great question. I think there are a lot of lies out there. I think there's a lot just innate within us. I think there's a lot in the media. We're always trying to live up to this certain expectation, this certain perfection. And we have to be the prettiest, we have to be the smartest, we have to be on top of everything. And if we're not, then we're just not good enough, right? And so we see all this perfection and we think, I need to attain that, and I'm not worth anything until I get there.
Social media has a lot to do with this.
I think it does. Yeah, we see these images on social media, on Instagram. We're constantly scrolling all the time. I mean, the middle school girls we talk to now, I see them scrolling through their phones, and I think, oh my gosh, I didn't have this when I was in 6th
I know, and
and 7th
they
grade.
have to just have this perfect life. And so what are you teaching? I know that it's not just a Catholic group.
Right, but everything is informed with that beautiful Catholic teaching that we are made in the image and likeness of God, right? That we have dignity and that we are worth it and worthy. So every time we talk to the girls, we tell them that you are enough, you are worthy, and you are loved. And we want them to witness that and experience that in the friendships that they make through Girl Talk, right? So how do we treat each other, right? Are we giving that beautiful love that Christ mirrors to us? Are we treating each other well? Are we welcoming everyone in? Hospitality is a huge part of Girl Talk.
And that's why you have it in your home.
Yes. I have it here in my home, and then all the campus ambassadors, those are the college leaders we call them, they open up their dorms and their apartments and their living spaces to everyone around them. It's open to their peers, because it's so important to be authentic and to be vulnerable. I welcome the girls into my home and they see, oh, there are some dirty dishes there. Julie's a real person. She's not just this perfect, made-up, figure.
Founder of a wonderful movement.
Right. But she's real, right? And I love having these authentic conversations with the girls where we really get to know each other and we have authentic friendship. And then they go and then they have that with the girls that they work with as well and they talk to.
What is your dream?
I love that question. My dream is that every woman knows her inherent value. She knows how much dignity she has, and she lives by it. I think it's really easy for us to doubt ourselves and then to settle, whether that's in relationships, whether that's with work,
faith,
whatever the case may be. But this is real life, and this is me, and this is just how it's going to be. No, you are incredible. You are a daughter of God. You're beautiful. what are your dreams, what are your gifts and talents, and how can we help you achieve that, right? So my dream is that every woman achieves her dreams.
Okay, how can you get to my daughter's middle school? Right now.
Great, I'll get you my email.
Julie Larkin, what you're doing is just courageous and wonderful and so needed in this secular and superfluous at sometimes society. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
We have some extra footage from that meeting online. Head to facebook.com, Lauren Ashburn, EWTN, where you can meet some of those girl talkers and see a meeting. And if you're interested in building a sisterhood of self-worth, or you just want to book Julie to speak at your high school or middle school, or bring Girl Talk to your college, please visit their website, ourgirltalk.org. In tomorrow's segment, we go inside the Vatican with Flaminia Giovanelli, who has worked there for 43 years. She tells me about her career serving 5 popes.
I have met all the popes, of course, but those are normally, they are very, very quick meetings. But still, I must say that that Pope Francis told me something very, very nice, a very nice compliment. Yeah, yes. Because when he heard that I was serving here in 43 years, he said, "Oh, I didn't know that you could start to work at the Vatican when you were 6 years old." So he was very nice.
And she'll read to us from her published children's books. Tune in tomorrow to meet this fascinating Catholic woman. And now, we turn to you. All week, we've asked for your stories of Catholic women who inspired you. Andrea Lamorte writes, "My 2 grandmas and my mother consistently showed me to trust in God, have faith, never lose faith. Thank God for having such great role models." This one comes from Ellen Ashburn. "I'm so grateful that my mother openly lived her faith every single day. Just came across her prayer book that is worn out from how much she used it. Thanks, Mom." And finally, John Geron made me cry. "My wife is the most influential Catholic woman in my life. We are happily married 64 plus years, are in our late 80s, and never had an argument. But from time to time, we have high decibel discussions. These usually end with us both laughing. She is such an inspiration to me. Her beauty is both spiritual and physical."